Good morning. I'm David Seltzer. Okay, everybody's in their seats early this time, but please take them if you haven't, and greet each other. You have a Welcome to the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. We honor you wherever you are in your spiritual path and know that there is something wonderful here for you this morning. In particular, I welcome those of you who are here for the first time or have recently discovered our community, whether you are participating in today's service right here or around the world. As always, this morning the room is filled with joyful thoughts. We believe that there is a law of mind which responds to our thought, faith, and conviction. Even in the most challenging days of our lives, in the lives of the people of this community, there is joy. There is the joy of being together to experience what life has to offer. The words of the chant will be on the screen, followed by the opening prayer given to you by our practitioner of the morning, Marilyn Letzos.
Good morning. Let's all stand up. Amazing grace. Give me a little warm up here. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to sing, and grace I feel relieved. How precious dear that
Good morning. I'm Marilyn Letzos, a practitioner with this beloved community, and I would like you to settle completely into your seats right now. Close your eyes and simply allow everything that happened right up to this moment to just fade into a beautiful white mist behind you. Every concern, every worry, everything that happened is just in that radiant white mist as you leave it behind and become utterly present in the presence. And open now with me to that sublime awareness of the one great life. This life is indeed perfect. This life is lavish, unfailing abundance. Love, unconditional, and that never fails. And peace indeed that doth pass all understanding. As we abide in this infinite sea of light and love and sound that does permeate everything, supplies everything. This infinite supply is always around us, available for us when we turn our attention to it, when we open to it. Indeed, every answer to every need is right there as we give it all of our attention. And so I speak my word right now that each heart is opening like a flower to the sun, opening as never before to be filled today, to be filled with that divine essence that has all we could ever need and more, as we simply luxuriate in the presence and await the word. And so I give thanks for this exquisite receptivity and release this into the law. And so it is. Amen. And now, to re-welcome these two wonderful musicians who are family now. They have been here enough times that we know them well. They've actually just recently moved closer to us. They lived in Seattle before, and they have returned to the area, to the Bay Area. Blessing spiritual communities up and down the Pacific Coast with their joyful message. I'd like you to welcome again Narayan and Janet.
Yeah, we live in Santa Rosa now. We got roses and flowers growing everywhere.
And sunshine on our faces.
Oh, it's amazing.
Our feet are dry.
'Cause it's 43 degrees and raining in Seattle. Ouch. I got the blues. There ain't no doubt that I got 'em. Ooh, deep dark blue in my soul, yes. But I think I can change it. I can change that color. I can lift it up to a light sky blue. Sky blue. I feel the tears. Deep water storm in my soul. But I'm gonna change those waters
from a stormy calm to a light sky blue sky.
Here we go now.
Sky blue,
Yeah!
woo! Sky blue,
All right.
sky blue,
Blue day, having fun, blue balloons for everyone. All right.
sky blue,
Blue thoughts in my head, satin sheets upon my bed.
sky blue,
Yeah.
sky blue,
Blue jeans, blue cheese, blue plate special if you please.
sky blue.
Give me blue, I'll bring it on.
I had the blues, there was no doubt that I had them. But I changed my tune, and Lord lifted it up to a light sky blue. Oh, yes I did, yes I did. And now there's no more tears, no more blue. I got the feeling in my soul. I lifted it up, yes, to a light sky blue. It is so good, light sky blue. Light sky blue.
Look out! Blue is the color of my favorite shirt.
Sky
Blue is the color of my neighbor's yurt.
sky
Blue is the ghost in the blue machine.
sky
Blue is the color when the sky is clean. Yeah, gumball, Krishna skin, navy blazer fit right in. All right, fit right in. Turquoise blue toys, baby presents for the boys. Give me blue, sky blue, sky blue. All right, sky blue, sky blue, woo, sky blue.
Thank you for the guest artist Posey in the middle of that. Good morning, everybody. I'm Reverend Carol Huntley. I see a lot of people with roses this morning, meaning that's your first time here. So I'd like to thank you for coming, and I hope you will feel so at home. Can we modify this microphone a little bit? Because it's echoing. Okay, better? Good. I'd like you to just give Sean Haven a little love for this beautiful altar. So if you're here for the first time or back after a long time, I'd like to catch you up on our yearly theme. We have a theme for the whole year. This is the year of yes, living what we believe. So on that poster board right over there is the statement from our founder, Ernest Holmes, about what we believe, divided into 12 statements. And we're taking one every month to look really in depth. And May is a doozy, let me just say. And here it is. I am also working the remote control for the first time today. So. Yahoo! Here it is. We believe let me show you this. We believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. Now, I hope you weren't too entertained by the red light, because this is huge. Now, granted, this whole big what we believe statement was written like during World War II, and so everybody wanted there to be no conflict. But Ernest Holmes, our founder, is saying that this is the ultimate goal of life. The ultimate goal of life is the complete emancipation from all discord of every nature. Not giving our gifts, not being kind, not learning our lessons, not enjoying life to the fullest, but to be freed of discord of every nature. Sort of like everything is brought together in that statement of being absolutely free of discord. So the word for May is peace, and, because that's what we would be feeling if we had no discord. But I also want to say, because I have heard this statement hundreds of times. I have read it hundreds of times. And this week, I really started to think about a life that would be free of discord of every nature. And I'm telling you, it was hard to do. And so what I want you to think about is, Ernest Holmes also said, take what you want of this philosophy and leave the rest. And so after today, if you're not ready to say the ultimate goal of my life is the complete emancipation of discord of every nature, it's okay. But I want us to really try it on so that we can have a real feeling if we want to choose this ultimate goal. So I must admit that my first thought was, if there is no discord, I sort of stepped into a life where I had no differences with anybody. And what I got was, oh, everyone would agree with me. And after I got that maybe that would not be what would happen, it didn't really seem logical or possible or sometimes even desirable, because sometimes, a lot of times, people have a better idea than I do. But if there were absolutely no discord, our experience would be harmony. And that is the word for the day, harmony. And so, isn't that a pretty slide? Yeah, it's just like there we are in the middle of life going on around us, feeling harmonious. So the title of my talk is, On the Way to Peace, There Might Be Discord. So when we are in discord, there isn't harmony. Are we clear on that? We're not feeling harmonious when we're in discord. And so, on the thesaurus on my Mac, I just looked up what else discord means. So here we have it. Discord, have you ever felt like that, screaming? Yeah. We're feeling discord, discord, disagreement, conflict, dispute, argument, friction, and dissension. Anybody felt any of that this week? So, to be serious, of course, there's a lot of that. It's on the news, it's in families, it's at work, it's on the world stage. And it's actually here even, if you can imagine that. There's some disagreement about the new order of service and the orientation of the chairs and everything. And I want you to know that I welcome it, and I'm really listening to it. And if you can watch and look for the subtle changes as we go through, the chairs are a little more arced. There's going to be a little more silent space in the service. So I am listening, but it happened because of disagreement. And so, of course, I looked to Facebook. Facebook is so resourceful for me. I just have it in my mind what I wanted to show me, and so this is so great. Facebook, how to start an argument online. 1, express an opinion. 2, wait. That's it. That's all you have to do. So because we have differences and conflict with each other, that's not the only place there's conflict. We also have conflict within us. And that's why Bodhi and I decided to leave the wretch word in Amazing Grace. Because you know what happened, John Newton, who wrote this, was a slave trader. And when he wrote the song, when he realized what he was doing was against God and nature, and he felt wretched. And so he put that wretch word in, and there are people who feel that it's diluted when we say that saved a soul like me, or saved, something else, inserted a more positive word. And so I want us to feel or remember a time when you felt wretched because you were at conflict with yourself. And that's what we're talking about this month too, because we are about eliminating or freeing ourselves from discord of every nature on the outside and freeing ourselves from discord of every nature on the inside as well. So in order to live in total harmony, we would, and in harmony with ourselves, we would have to get rid of all of these. No more. No more disagreement, conflict, dispute, or anything like that. And being rid of them doesn't mean that we just hide them, that we're really in a Cold War, that we really have resentment. Can somebody grab the phone there? And yeah, good. Okay. Good. Thanks. So let me get back into this here. Being rid of those other words that mean discord means that we do something. It's not that God is going to just go, bingo, there's no more conflict, and everybody agrees with you. Just like that's impossible, just like it was impossible with me that everybody would agree with me. We have to do something in order to reduce and eliminate disagreement, conflict, dispute, argument, friction, and dissension. And it doesn't mean, as I said, that we just take them inside and we hold resentment, but we just don't speak it. We have a Cold War and we go around things and we, give people zingers that we, just kidding. How many, don't you hate that when somebody just comes at you and then they, just kidding. True peace is that they are really, really gone. That we have a high regard for everyone. Everyone has a high regard for us. There is absolute honesty and intimacy going both ways. And if there is a difference of opinion, it doesn't lead to any adverse feeling at all whatsoever. So I want to describe in greater detail what I went through to imagine this. And I want you to imagine it with me. If we had a world where there was a complete emancipation of discord of every nature, it's total harmony. Everyone would have total safety to express their truth. There would be no fear. We would have absolute a welcome mat to share our truth. And the disagreement, if there was a differing point of view, would lead to exploration and curiosity. And not anything that feels like clashes. Never any anger, never any forcing. Mutual high regard one unto another, from families through strangers to countries. Everybody would just love each other, period. There would be no sarcasm and there would be no baiting. How you doing so far? There would have to be a redefinition of humor because so many jokes are to relieve the tension that is on the inside when we feel conflict. So jokes are, one of the theories of humor is that jokes are constructed so that we can let off steam, and instead of hitting somebody, we can laugh. So that would have to be no more jokes at the expense of anyone. The entire justice system would, of course, have to be revised. As the whole punishment model. When somebody acted with unskilled behavior, nobody would get mad at them. There are tribes in Africa where when a child is born, they are sung their song. And if they do anything that is against the tribe brings them into the circle and they sing them their song. And then at the end of their life, they sing them their song. So there would not be any punishment. There would be no punishment in courts in prisons. There would be no punishment in families, because that whole model, we would know, doesn't work, because that means there's conflict and dissension. So there would not be anything to be against. The family life would be completely turned upside down in peace. And although there could be divorce, there would never be divorce with contention. There would not be any family fights and slamming of doors, or slamming of cupboards, or slamming of drawers. See what happened to my house. So if this sounds boring to you, then the whole idea of excitement would have to be redefined. And the whole idea of the hero's journey would not be a story on this planet, because there wouldn't be anything to overcome. So it would be just peaceful. And we would have to find a way of having peace not be static. So I'm telling you, I'm here to tell you that I couldn't wrap my mind around this and have it sound really, really good to me. But Ernest Holmes did. And so he must have had an idea that if we didn't have energy that was put into the management of conflict, that energy could go into creativity and harmoniously working together. Something that is mutually beneficial, that is so far beyond what we normally experience on this earth that I can't conceive of it. But I know Ernest Holmes did. So it must be good. I believe that although I can't see it, I can imagine that it would be good. And so what I am willing to do, and I hope you are willing to do, is take the first step. The first step towards peace. The first step, knowing that on the way to peace, we may come into discord. But we are willing to do that. Are you willing to do that with me? That's wonderful. So that's what we're going to do. That's the lesson today. The first steps towards harmony. Okay? Yeah, you want to be right there? Yeah. I'd feel harmonious if I was right there and nobody else around. No. We got, 7 billion of us, honey. So the first thing is calm your inner fears. So many years ago, we did a book study on this book, Manual for the Peacemaker. This is by Jean Houston, and it's the story of Daganoweda and Hiawatha. Daganoweda and Hiawatha were a part of the Iroquois nation, and I believe that the story happens in the 1700s, but Daganoweda was an amazing visionary of peace. And Hiawatha was the spokesman, because Hiawatha was the front man, and Daganoweda was the creator of the programs. And they brought together 5 warring tribes in the northeast of America and what was to be Canada. And actually the Confederation, the agreement that they came up with, was part of the foundation of our own Constitution of the United States. So this is a real story. And so one of the first steps in this book towards peace involves an old woman who lived at the crossroads of where the tribes moved from one place to another to engage in war. And she would feed the warriors, no matter who came to her door. She would feed the one as they came roaring through. She would feed the other one as they came roaring through. And she was supporting the war business because she fed the warriors on their way to battle. And so the first step in peacemaking is to stop feeding the warriors on the inside and on the outside. So this is what it says. Perhaps that is a necessary first step to our becoming authentic peacemakers, to announce to the desperate, hungry hunters within that the peacemaker is coming. Have them carry word to all parts of the mind-body system that warfare is outmoded and that new possibilities are at hand. So you announce to the arguer within, you announce to that one within who doesn't move from their position, you announce to that one within that carries resentment towards another, you announce to that tribe on the inside that likes to war, you announce that the peacemaker is coming. Speak words of power and metaphor to them, simple and memorable. What could be better than the words that Daganawida used? These are his words. I am part of the mind of the Maker. I bring the promise of peace and clear ways to achieve it. I leave the old ways and go towards the sunrise. Let me break this up into phrases and have you say it. I am part of the mind of the Maker. I bring the promise of peace and clear ways to achieve it. I leave the old ways and go towards the sunrise. So that's announcing to the warriors within you that is the outmoded way. We're not going to do that anymore. And when the fears arise, we're going to calm them. And if that means you stop watching the news, or if it means you stop baiting your ex, or if it means you stop arguing with your children, you tell yourself that peace is at hand. And if you don't know what to do instead, you do nothing. So this is the first thing we do to bring about the first step towards harmony. Now that feels like we could do that at least every 3 or 4 times we have this rush in us, right? We could do that. We could practice that. Yes? Okay. The next one is center in compassion. You know, the Course of Miracles says that all aggression is a cry for help. That when someone yells at you, when someone comes at you, and I've been in relationships that were characterized by anger, and it was next to impossible for me in the moment to say that aggression is a cry for help. But you can try it by watching movies. You can try it by watching the news, really. And whenever anybody gets that riled up feeling, you could say, oh, how is that a cry for help? And you look at it on the outside, and the more you just suggest to yourself that this is actually true, that somebody doesn't know what else to do. Somebody is feeling really, really out of sorts. They really, really, really want peace in their life, and they have no idea how to do it, and so they yell. What unskilled behavior. But we've all done it. And so really sitting in compassion means that we are able to see conflict on the outside of us on the way to peace and say, there is another child of God in such an interesting disguise. And so as these ideas come to me, I try them on myself. I do them myself. And it's challenging work for me. It may not be challenging work for you. It may be that you hear this and you go, oh, what a great idea. I'm going to do that. And you actually can do it. Pray to God that many people can do that. And the rest of us work hard at it. Next is forgive quickly. Now, forgiveness is really letting go of the past. It's like saying, because what we have to forgive is something that happens in the past that we're all wrought up about in the present. And guess what? It happened already. It happened in the past. And so to say, it happened and I'm going to let it go instead of chewing on it, forgiveness really is, or unforgiveness is keeping that conflict alive in you when it really is gone. It's in the past. Now, I know that there are people that repeat the things that you need to forgive them about. I know that. And then that's another talk. You can choose another way. You can say, that person is in that habit and I'm not going to change them, so I am really going to not play with them in that way anymore. That's a way you can do that, and we can talk about that another time. But what I want you to see, that forgiveness is really giving up any hope of a better past. It's not going to change, no matter what you do. And so what happens is that we feel strangely more powerful in unforgiveness. And the reason that we feel strangely more powerful in unforgiveness is that we have readied ourselves for the fight. We are like, I am not going to let him talk to me like that. And we get ready for the fight. And it is strangely more powerful. Of course, that never did any good for anything. But it's more powerful than saying, I'm going to let that go and not have it affect me anymore. But breathing it out is really what we must do. And I'm telling you, we will not come to the emancipation of every discord of every nature and say, I have arrived and I have maintained one person in unforgiveness, and it just feels so good. No. We're going to have to forgive every single one. And if if that is a real challenge for you, but you think you might be ready to take the next bite out of forgiveness, see a practitioner, because they don't have that whole story in them that you have in you that is making you go, ruh, ruh, ruh. They don't have that. They have their own stuff, but they can definitely see your path to ending resentment and to freeing yourself. They are trained to do that. So I ask you to take advantage of a prayer from a practitioner. If you've got one of those inside and you say, I can't do it of myself, they will help you. The next one is work for consensus. So almost always when there are two differing points of view, there is a higher place of agreement. And that's what you do. You don't just sit and argue about your position and they argue about their position. You say, what do we both want that is the same? And then you start the recreation process from that place that you both want. What can we both agree on here? Your core council, and you're all welcome to a core council meeting. They're really actually very fun. We have a wonderful practice in our core council. It's called the practice of power and love, or peace and love. And what happens is that if one person feels that icky feeling inside, like I've been done wrong, or there's an elephant in the room, or anything that is trying to come up and nobody's saying it, they say, I want to do the peace and love process. And so what they do is they take a talking instrument and then they say, this is what I think happened. This is how I feel because of that. And this is how I think it could be made better. And then they pass the talking instrument. The next person says, this is what I think happened. This is how it makes me feel. Or this is how I feel because of it. And this is what I think would make it better. And you go all around like that. And sometimes you go around 2 or 3 times. And you can refer to someone else, but you don't cross-talk. You can say, when you said that just now, this is what happened for me, and this is how I feel, and this is how I think it could be made better. But with everybody just passing around the talking instrument like that, miracles happen. It always, always gets straightened out. And we use it all the time. And you're welcome to come. We don't have it every meeting, but you could try it. If you have one of those little things, you could try it. Lastly for today is hold the vision. So the vision of a world living in love, this is actually the vision of our community. We see a world living in love, one heart and one thought at a time. And that's what we say. That's what's on our material. That's what we live by. We try to live by. Margaret Mead said, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. And another example of holding the vision is when my son was little, he loved Star Trek, and he wrote to LeVar Burton, a fan letter to LeVar Burton, who is Geordie LaForge in Star Trek, you know. And he got back a letter and a picture, and on the back, he writes, "Hi there. I truly believe that our thoughts influence what we experience in life. Do yourself a favor and spend at least one moment today thinking of our world as a safe, healthy, and wonderful place to be. In the light, LeVar." Yeah, really, really sweet. So these are just the first steps that we must take before we can ever get to the deeper work of creating a world where there is no conflict. And if you still are in a place of saying, I don't know, I think I use conflict well to get into the issues of my life, you know, I just don't understand a world like this. I'm going to tell you a quick story about my family, one of my family configurations. When I was pregnant with Melanie, and Michael, my son, was 8, and my husband at the time had an 8-year-old girl. And so my tummy was getting bigger and bigger, and so we thought this is the perfect time to tell them about the facts of life. And so we started in. And they were sitting there. And the first thought I had was, great, we're getting this in time, because they looked shocked. And so they were more and more and more shocked as we went on. And then we actually said, you know, it's not just Mommy and Daddy, it's everybody got here this way. And all of the puppies and all of the kitties, they all got here by the daddy putting in the mommy. And so we had a dog, we had a little black dog named Belgique, and we said, that's what happened with Belgique's Mommy and Daddy. And I guess that was the last straw, because to imagine Belgique's Mommy and Daddy having sex was all they could stand, and they literally fell off their chairs laughing. That was the funniest thing. And so they were in a place at 8 where they could not imagine that they would enter a time in life when that act would not only make real sense, but be the greatest pleasure of their lives. But they grew into it, as we all have. And the same thing could be going on with this example of a world that had no conflict. Right now, we think, well, that doesn't make any sense at all. Some of us might be falling off our chairs in laughter, thinking, well, this would just be so boring. Why would I want that? But as we take one step and another step and another step in the development of skills that lead to peace, I truly believe that we will enter a time in our lives when that's what we want more than anything, is the emancipation of discord of every nature. So the takeaway for today is I can develop skills to allow my life to be more peaceful. And that's what we're going to do this month. And the thing is, of that list that I gave you, which will go out in the letter, you don't have to do every single one now. I mean, you do have to do every single one ultimately, but try one. Will you try one with me? Develop one skill this week. Try one, because we practice skills and we do it together. And I am here to witness you. You are here to witness me. And we will see if we can envision a world free of conflict of every nature. Thank you. And now just take your soul and move into the sunrise there. And imagine with me, since this is our Partnership Sunday, that we are encompassing our sister center in Ukraine and now in Russia, 2 centers in Russia, in the Crimea, with the peace that passes understanding. And so in order to do that, we remember a time when we were more peaceful than at most times. Maybe waking up on vacation, maybe holding a newborn baby, maybe wrapped in the arms of your beloved, maybe breathing in the pine tree scent in the woods. Remember that time. And then with the next exhale, send it to Ukraine and Russia. Send it to our brothers and sisters who are right now finishing dinner, getting ready for bed. Imagine that they are tucking in their children. And we will say to them and their children, we are creating a world living in love and peace, one heart and one thought at a time. And then direct that peace, if you would, to any other conflict in yourself or in a friend's relationship. You don't have to think of how it's going to change for the better, but that blanket of peace, that balm that you can feel in your holy place, your sacred place of the beach or the woods or the baby, and send it to that place in your life that you know could use harmony. And then realize with me that at the depth of the universe, there is only harmony, because all of the worlds spin aright, and God is in heaven, which is deeply within us. Blessed be.
Breathes through me. God breathes through me. God breathes through everyone and breathes through me. God breathes through me. God breathes through me. God breathes through everyone and breathes through me. I feel the earth, the sun, the sky, and in the night your starry eyes, and in our breath creation sighs.
The breath that draws our gaze within and gently flows outside again. The breath of love that we live in.
God breathes through me. God breathes through me. God breathes through everyone and breathes through me. And when the world's too much for me and all my fears feel unrelieved, I feel peace in air I breathe.
Temple bells, the oceans roar, our spirits with each other soar. The God of love comes back for more.
I am divine, I know it. I am pure love, I know it. Because God
love is all that I can see. Love breathes through me. Love breathes through me. Love breathes through everyone and breathes through me. Love breathes through me. Love breathes through me. Love breathes through everyone and breathes through me.
Would the ushers please come forward? And as we prepare our tithes and offerings, just know that everybody in this room is giving something to this community for you and for me. I'm giving for you. You're giving for everybody else. And so just look around and be so, so grateful, if you would, for the generous hearts that are here this morning. And then place your offering on your heart and read with me this offering prayer. This gift I give is God in action. I now send it forth to bless and to prosper. I know that everywhere it goes, it is creating a world living in love, one heart and one thought at a time. And so it is. Would the ushers please receive the gifts? Love is why we're here. Let me be an open channel. If love is why we're here, let me give and then receive. Love is why we're here. Let me be an open channel. If love is why we're here, let me give and then receive. If love is why we're here, let me be an open channel. If love is why we're here, let me give and then receive. If love is why we're here, let me be an open channel. If love is why we're here, let me give and then receive. Love is why we're here. Let me be an open channel. If love is why we're here, let me give and then receive. Love is why we're here. Let me be an open channel. If love is why we're here, let me give and then receive. Let me give and then receive. Let me give and then receive. So I bless this offering today. I bless all the dear hearts who gave. I bless all the dear hearts who are here receiving and knowing that all is well in our world. Blessed be. Thank you. So the announcements, the cute announcements with these wonderful little slides. Oh my gosh. First, today we celebrate our partnership with the CSL Center in Ukraine and Russia. And we have a Temenos table. I'm pointing to it right now. And Jet Walker, would you stand up, please? Jet Walker is going to be at the table, and she has lots and lots of pictures. And there's also a press release from Reverend Barbara to the world about the peace work that is going on in her centers. And there is a brief article here that says, Temenos and our supporters are holding high watch knowing that as we remove enmity, old grudges, and pain, we find peace and love is our nature. So you can pick up a copy of the press release, or you can read it online on the letter that I sent out this week. Next. Gourmets for God. We are entering a whole new phase for Gourmets for God. May is the sign-up time. So, Scott, would you sign up? Or, yeah, sign up, Scott. Stand up. And Paula in the back. Paula. And so our hosts are Skip and Kathy. You stand up. And I'm one. And Jay and Mary are one. And who's the other one? Scott, you and Posey? Or no? Who else? Oh, Susie. Oh, yeah. Brent and Gail. And okay, so there's 4 parties. The sign-ups are back there on the table. You can all sit down now. All these people will be back there to answer questions. But the idea is for you to get your name in early so that the opening bid is what you pay. Otherwise, if the party fills up and more people want to come, those more people have to up the bids. Oh, it's going to be so fun. And my party is going to be fabulous. Spring classes, we have, starting this week, No More Anger, Guilt, or Fear. That's mine, Wednesday day. And we have Quick Start with Gail Durkin. And Posey, get ready to come up here. Posey is teaching this thing called You, a fabulous class by Ernest Holmes and Posey Lyon.
So we had a kind of an experience of it today in service. But this thing called You is truly an amazing, marvelous, magnificent, unrepeatable miracle. So right after service around the fireplace, I'm actually going to hold a circle. So if any of you are having a little place in you that wants to be reminded just how powerful and magnificent you are, or to get a flavor of what we might be doing in the class, please join me right after service. We'll create a circle by the fireplace. And also please note that there is early bird pricing for this class. So there are flyers for the class over here, and if you want more information, plus an experience of the magnificent beingness that you are, join me right after service.
This thing called You is my favorite Ernest Holmes book. Just saying. The Extra Edge is happening this next Thursday. Reverend Sarah meets you at 7 o'clock at Il Fornaio, and her presentation is... Oh, well then, you can have some coffee and meet her at 8 o'clock. And she's going to be speaking on You Are Irresistible, which is absolutely the truth. And before the last announcement, I would like the practitioners to surround the room in preparation for our blessing and closing. And it's also so great that the practitioners are surrounding the room for this last announcement, because it is the ordination of our very own M. Louise, right back there. This is a big to-do. And it's going to be right here, Sunday the 25th. You're all invited. There'll be a reception. There'll be many ministers all robed up, just ushering M. Louise into her lifetime calling. She'll make lifetime vows of ministry. So it's fabulous. These are the practitioners that are ready to pray with you today. And so, open your heart for this blessing, my darlings. You are a part of the mind of the Maker. May divine mind in you bring the promise of peace and clear ways to achieve it. And may Spirit guide your way. Please stand now for our affirmation and closing song. Here we go, darlings. I take hold of peace. I embrace it. I work for it. I use my mind, my heart, and my hands for peace. I envision the world I am creating, one thought, one act at a time. Yes! The
thank you for all you bring to me. I just wanna thank you. Your love has set me free. I just wanna thank you for all you bring to me. I just wanna thank you. Your love has set me free. I just wanna thank you.